Welcome 3D students. In this video I'm going to show you how to render a series of still images into a video. When we animate something, like I've animated this camera rotating around this sword object, we create a series of frames, and those frames can be assembled into a video. Now in 3D Max we can render straight to video, or we can just render each frame and import it into another program to create a video. And importing frames into another program or rendering one frame at a time is actually the best way to render a video in 3D Max, because each frame could take as long as a minute or two, and if you only have 2 hours or an hour and a half in our case to render a video, then you're going to take longer than one class period. So when we render frame by frame, that means that we can stop and pick up where we left off the next day. It also means that if you have a power surge or some other reason to crash your computer, you can pick up again where you left off. So let's get started. We start by going to rendering, render setup, and the first thing we're going to do is make sure we choose active time segment. We can also choose a specific range of frames if we want to, but in this case my entire animation spans 100 frames. We need to choose the resolution. I'm going to choose 1280 by 720, and that is an HD TV preset. And then we need to tell 3D Max where to put the frames that we're going to render. I've already created a file path, but I'm going to create another one. What you do is click this Files button, and that brings up a little Explorer window. I'm going to go up a level in my 3D Max project structure. Actually, I'm going to go up 2 levels, and I'm going to find the render output folder. Now you can put these frames anywhere you want to. You just need to know where you're putting them. Then I'm going to click this button right here and create a new folder. And I'm going to rename this folder Frames and push enter. And then I'm going to open it up. And I'm going to just leave that name there. That will be the name of each frame, and it's 3D Max, when it renders them, is going to number them sequentially from 0 to 100. So let's go ahead and click Save. And now that we've set our file structure, we can click Render. And 3D Max is going to go through and render each frame. It's going to give you some progress reporting right here. Tell you how much time each frame takes, how much time total has elapsed, and it'll estimate how much time is remaining. As you can see, that frame took 24 seconds, and it says it's probably going to take 41 minutes to render. So I'm not going to make you sit here for 41 minutes and watch this, so we'll come back when that's done. Okay, so now that my render is finished, I can close this, and if we look in the folder that we designated, in the project folder, in the render output folder, in the frames folder, you will see 100 JPEGs, and they're numbered sequentially. So now we can actually save our scene and close 3D Max because we don't need it anymore. And then we need to start up Adobe Premiere Pro. This is a video editing program that is installed on your computer. I'm sure you can do this process with other video editing programs, but this is the one we're going to use at school. So when you start it up, you'll see this window. We're going to create a new project. You can just leave it untitled. Doesn't matter where you save it, but you need to understand where you are saving it. You need to look at this file path, or you can choose a location and just stick it on your desktop. Let's do that. You don't need a template, and click Create. And after it creates a project, you'll go to this page, and this page is a little confusing. These are video clips that you can, theoretically import into your project, and that is in the Import tab right here. See, there's Import, Edit, Export, and Home. If we click Home, that's going to take us back to this page. If we click Import, that's this page. Edit is the one we want. You also need to make sure that you change your workspace over here to editing. That's the same one I'm using. Click right here, change your workspace to editing. And instead of going through this confusing import tab, let's just go to File, Import. And that'll bring up a File Explorer window. And then what we need to do is go find those frames that we rendered. Mine are in my Documents folder, 3D MA1, Sword. They should be in your Render Output folder unless you said to put them somewhere else. Open up the Frames folder and you will see that they are here and they are numbered 0 to 100. Simply click on the first one once, and very importantly, check this box right here, Image Sequence, and that tells Premiere Pro that you are importing a sequence of images and to convert it to a video. Then click Open. And now we have our video clip right here. All we have to do now is drag it over here into the timeline and drop it. And here's our video. You can click play to see what it looks like. Now make sure that to go ahead and push play and let it go to the last frame. It'll stop right there like that. And then you want to click this little button right here. That sets an out point. And that tells Premiere Pro that you don't want to render all this empty space here. You just want to render this part. And then we're going to go to the Export tab, which is right here, because we're going to export what we just created. And we need to click on this location link right here. And I'm going to go ahead and put that on my desktop. I have already done this once, so it'll come up with the name of the sequence, which is just the name of the first frame. Just go ahead and click Save. You don't see this at all. And then we need to open up the video settings here. And we need to click More. And down here you'll see your current file size, your projected file size right here. That's a little big for what we have. So I'm going to come down here to these settings, and this is where this is what affects that setting right there. Right now it says 8.5. So I'm going to change the target bitrate to 4. And you can clearly see what effect that has on the file size. Once you've done that, simply click Export. And now you can close Premiere Pro. Don't need to save this project, just don't need it anymore. And on your desktop, you should have a video. And here's the video that I created. It was on my desktop. I just double-clicked it to open it up. If we set it to loop like this, then if we play it, it will just simply sit there and spin indefinitely. And that is what we want.